Love it.
It's not backgammon.
Yeah. Take note of your opponent's habits. So, like, if your opponent jumps all the time, chances are your character has a move that stops him from jumping all the time. Like, he smacks him in the face. So, like, if he jumps, smack him in the face. He's gonna jump again, you smack him in the face. Then he's be like, maybe I don't want to jump anymore, but then you're already in front of him. So, oh wow, that's a bad decision.
It's like, if only it was like negative reinforcement. But
yeah, it's like, that's why we love fighting games, because people adapt. We're human beings. We hope that we learn. Some people just don't learn, which is why we're bringing you here to this panel. We don't want you to be that guy. There are a lot of ways to approach a person and to do all the things that we just mentioned. Like it's your own play style. Like this guy, he's supposed to be known as like the guy that runs forward all the time, but notice he's not even doing anything. He's just running right and left. And this guy's like, oh, I need to do something. So he throws a move, bam, gets punished for it. Mm-hmm. And this guy was just doing nothing but moving right and left. He wasn't even doing anything.
This is kind of an emphasis of you're not just playing the character, you're playing the person. The person can have different approaches to the character, and they have so many different habits. And once you get used to playing certain people, you know what their habits are, and those don't necessarily translate when you play a different person. So
that's where reads come in. A read is when you anticipate an opponent to do something, and you just win. So like say if me and Jesus were playing rock, paper, scissors like back to back, I'm just like, he's thrown rock 3 times, he's gonna throw scissors now, and I just automatically throw rock without even thinking about it, and I beat him. That's because I just know. Like I played him for so long that I have that mindset that I don't even need to wait. Like I just know what's gonna happen. That's what a read is in a fighting game. Like, oh, I just knew you were gonna do that, so I was prepared for it.
And if you guys are curious, a hard read, which is not a good thing, is when you are a little too confident in your read that to the point that you
end up taking it in the face. Which is what this guy was actually doing. He thought he was going to run back, but then he did it, and he got smacked in the face. Okay, picking your character.
Yeah.
Well, fighting games, other fun thing about fighting games is that you have a plethora of characters to pick from. And the reason why people love fighting games in the first place, which is Street Fighter 2, was because there's different characters to choose from. Otherwise, if no one liked balance, we would just play Ryu we'd play Karate Guy all the time, and it'd be really boring to watch.
Yeah.
There's a vast majority of characters. They all have their own tools, personalities, origins, and like you just look at the character, you'd be like, oh, that's the guy I like. But
I want Wolverine right there.
Usually, when you play a fighting game, there's characters that fall under archetypes in order to keep balance. So we're going to talk about archetypes of certain characters. Okay. Yeah, we're going back to character archetypes. This is the first fighting game, competitive fighting game of all time, which is Street Fighter 2.
This is particularly a championship edition and onwards because, believe it or not, Street Fighter 2 actually did something revolutionary in fighting games in 1991, at least since 25. It actually gave you the option of picking your character. Before then, you were dictated to pick the main character who always played the same. And Street Fighter 2 was the first game to actually allow you to pick the character.
So yeah, that's why we love the life is full of choices idea, because you pick whoever is good for you, you know?
Exactly.
There's a character called the Shoto. We call him he's always been called the Shoto ever since Street Fighter because that's the type of it's a type of
karate, and it's funny. Its name origin in the fighting game scene is actually a misnomer because in early promotional material, Ryu and Ken were described as using Shotokan karate. It was just an error. They actually don't use that. It was just they misprinted it because they jumped the gun. But it stuck.
Like the Shoto is the name of a character that is the most balanced character in the game. Like he has no good things about him, but he has no bad things about him either.
So for a good example, if we take the example of both Ryu, Ken, and Mario, both characters have a projectile of some sort. They both have some sort of anti-air option, and they're both all these cases an uppercut. They also have some sort of spinning like horizontal moving attack as well. And yeah.
If your game is built around mechanics, like say, people jump in the air, so people have to have moves that hit them out of the air, then this character's gonna have it. It might not be the best one, but he's gonna have it.
Yeah.
Or there's moves that are invincible. This guy's gonna have it, but it's not gonna be the best one. It's just gonna be alright. So this is the alright character. People who pick the alright character, you can be really good with it because that means you're just doing nothing but playing with with what they give you. You're not using advantage of anything. So don't think that just because he's alright doesn't mean he's bad to play.
No.
In a good idea.
And just because it's recommended for people starting out doesn't mean that advanced players don't use them. One of the best Street Fighter players in the world still uses Ryu,
which is the first show of all time. Grappler. These are the really big guys. So if you play a fighting game, you see a really big guy, chances are he's one of the grapplers. They do lots of damage if they hit you once. Like their moves are really long and but they're really slow too. So
and they have to be really close.
like they're gonna headbutt you, but like they go like, boom, like another person's like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's bad.
You should them to punch faster.
But
The best way to describe them is because their effective range is limited to being very close to their opponent. So they're big, and to compromise the fact that their biggest weakness is spacing, they do have a lot of health. They're usually given the highest health in the game to try to balance that feature out.
it's like the idea of a wrestler versus a boxer. You know, of course the wrestler is used to more being thrown around more, so of course he's gonna have more pain tolerance compared to the boxer who's running around really fast. But if he gets hit once by that boxer, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, of course, in the effective range, you have to be this close, while a boxer has arm length range at least.
So that's why the grapplers are compensated for having a lot of health, but they're really slow. Zoner. These are the characters that most people don't like to fight in fighting games, especially if you're new. These are the characters that keep you away. They don't want to do anything with you. If you come close to them, they say no way and they go the other way. They try to stay as far away as possible.
In layman's terms, they're the spammer. They have options to keep you as far away as possible. So we of course use the example of Dalsum and Peach, but there's also other examples like Moo from Blaze Blue or whatever.
Dalsum is supposed to be a guy who knows yoga, so apparently he has the ability to, like, if this was the table, he'd be able to stretch his leg all the way across this table from where I'm standing.
You know, yoga is not a martial art.
But
so he's an Indian Monkey D. Luffy.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like,
but like 6 years before Monkey D. Luffy.
but the problem is that he takes a while for it to stretch out and hit you. So the compensation is that even though he can go all the way over there, it's really slow. So like the guy who's all the way over there can just like smack him while he's doing it if he has an idea. But his general idea is to stay away because his moves are slow. So he can't beat out somebody who's punching really fast if his moves come out like this, but the other guy's going like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually their moves are designed to push you away because that's how it's fair. He needs you to be away for him to do his work. Otherwise, if they push you in, that's the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Rush down. Okay, these are the other type of characters that people don't like to play. These are characters that move really fast. They're really fast. They can be here today, gone tomorrow, in the air, on the ground, in the floor, in the background, and they're everywhere.
Wherever you want to be. But they're super fast and they have various type of like combo potential normally. Their strategy is to get as close as possible to you and pretty much do as much damage as they can as fast as they can. But because of that, to balance them out, they have not very good health. They usually they can't take nearly as much damage as say the normal character or the grappler. That's the compensation for having the highest mobility in the game and the most various amount of tools for combo potential.
It's high risk, high reward. If you're a gambler that likes to always make decisions all the time without letting your opponent breathe, this is what this character's for. But of course, high risk, high reward. If you mess up at least once, you could die like within this planet in a second. That's what these characters are for. And then, of course, there's hybrids. So some characters are the combination of what we just talked about. Like, if you want a rush down Shoto, that's what Akuma's for. If you want a hard-hitting rush down character, that's a bit slow, you play Falco and Melee. It's like, he's a combination of two character archetypes, but that means you get the pluses and the bads at the same time.
So for example, because even though he has all the options of a Shoto and all the combo potentially of a rushdown, Akuma has some of the worst health in Street Fighter.
Yeah. He dies in like 2 combos. It's really bad. So yeah, if you feel like they have combinations of things we just talked about, we told you we provide
Told you.
That just about does it. I know it was a lot, but that's why we have a long panel, so we can flatten out these Q&As. Try and incorporate these skills into your typical gameplay sessions, and I promise you will see results. Like, if you just take it slow, step by step, like maybe I'll start blocking more, and then you realize, man, when I block this move, it comes out. He takes a while to recover from it, so I can hit him from it.
Or maybe if I try this different, like maybe I could avoid getting his cross up,
Or yeah,
things like that.
I can stop getting hit by this. It's the fun thing about fighting games is that every round you take, no matter how easy or how bad it is, you can always learn something about it. So like, say I'm playing against Jesus, I play him all the time. Even though sometimes I win, I'm always want to learn something. Like, oh, he always beats me when I do this one move. What if I try this one move instead? And whatnot.
And we said, like, we notice when you play the same people over and over again, you notice their habits. It's come to the point where Alfonso could tell when I'm charging, or I could tell when he's about to try to set up the same normals.
Do not worry if you lose. Losing is part of winning.
I lost a lot last night.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. But
Street Fighter 5 is
it's trial and error. Luckily, we live in the modern day gaming scene where it's not where we have people to help you learn. So if you lose to somebody, don't be afraid to ask them, like, hey, what did I do wrong? What can I do to be better? And chances are they're going to refer you back to the words we were just saying last week.
And if you play a friend that's like that, he might even give you suggestions like, by the way, man, that attack I do is really, really bad. You should probably do this one.
Like, and also, like, if they tell you, if you have a hard time going through something, just ask them, like, hey, what can I do to do this better? Everyone's nice now. It's not like the 90s where if you go on arcade, get beat up and you ask them what's wrong, they say you suck it up. Okay.
Oh no, it could be worse. Yeah, it could be worse. You threw somebody in Street Fighter 2 and you didn't give them a courtesy throw back, they'd probably like beat you up or something.
Yeah.
If your efforts are
Times were bad. Times are good now though.
They're better.
Yeah, everyone's nice. They look bad, but they're nice. Trial and error is key. That's it. I mean, I've been playing for 4 years. Have I won a major tournament? No. It takes a lot of time. Like one of the best Street Fighter players, his name is Daigo Umehara.
He's the beast.
He's been playing the game for 25 years, and he still can't get first place every game. He loses to people who've been playing the game for 2 years. That's because they just see the world differently from him, and that just sometimes gets the best of you.
But they're making a figure of Daigo.
That's the way it goes.
A beautiful example in the art of the combination attack.
So we got resources for you. So if you guys are more interested after getting the fundamental lesson, we are so many more tools that we've at our hand. So for a good example, shoryuken.com is perhaps one of the best. They have some of the greatest forums. And they actually have a forum called the Sakyo Dojo, which pretty much is all for beginners. They'll tell you everything you might need to know about they'll have character-specific guides, recommendations for controllers, what you should be playing on in terms of system, what's a lag-free like monitor, things of that generation. Or if you just find yourself being super interested in just the characters, the games, or the lore, Fighters Generation is probably one of the best sites to look up everything about your favorite characters in fighting games, everything from artwork, their very first appearance. It's very interesting. And to even top it off, you guys have a resource here at the campus. We have the UCSD Fight Club here that meets every Saturday, or
yeah, every Saturday.
Every Saturday, and you get to meet the president. He's a really cool guy. He used to be cooler because he had facial hair, but not anymore.
But yeah, the UCSD Fight Club is really good. It got me better at fighting games. I was really happy it existed because I had to suffer from the fact that none of my friends wanted to learn from fighting games, so they assumed when I beat them that they just sucked and they gave up. And that's why this place is always a sword. There's always somebody hungry in UCSD Fight Club, and they're always willing to fight somebody because they too have like experienced loss and whatnot. They want to make you better because, in all honesty, do you want to play a game of like basketball where you just beat the guy like without even trying? It's not fun. You want to try some. You want to beat somebody that gave you a challenge because then you get better. If they're not learning, then what do you do? You're just playing for the sake of playing. That's what UCSD Fight Club is for. Look up matches on YouTube. Any fighting game, just put like if Melee Grand Finals, and there'll be like a whole bunch of videos of matches of the highest caliber for free. And you could be like, what are these guys doing? These guys are doing something and they're winning. I should probably do what they're doing.
By the way, I want a special shout out for Ari for blasting my phone.
What's up?
With all his criticisms, thank you.
My criticisms.
points.
Just keep playing. Yeah, just, if the game seems bad now, it's only because you're gonna get better later. If you feel like you're learning, chances are the other guy's just learning faster than you are. So just dial it back down a bit. If you're losing all the time, maybe go play somebody else. Don't play somebody else just to beat them up. Just to make sure if you know if you're doing something right.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, go to tournaments.
Tournaments.
Most tournaments are free to go to like watch. You
Yeah.
don't have to enter them to watch. You just watch, talk to the people. There's always nice people. Even
There's
if
nice people.
just ask them, hey, I'm trying to learn how to play this game. Can you help me out here? That's the ending song for Street Fighter 2 because